if somebody comes up to my booth or somebody else's booth that I'm affiliated with and I hear them say, oh, you're asking this much for this much or this much for that piece, like why? I'd probably say, honestly, no disrespect, but that piece probably isn't for you because you're not familiar with the value of it. And what you're paying for is the effort. You know, a lot of these people don't do it full time, so they do take their extra time after working a job to go and curate these pieces for you within their own time, their own gas they're spending to travel around the city. You know, they may be hitting the bins at Goodwill. That's a war in itself. You know, people be shoulder to shoulder fights, and then, you know, hitting yard sales all morning, garage sales, estate sales. Sometimes estate sales, you got to be up at like 3 or 4 in the morning just to be one of the first people in line to get something worthy. Like if it goes back to, it can go back far, 1800s, honestly, but I don't see people selling many pieces that old. But, you know, pieces like 50s, 60s, 70s, you're paying up for that because you'll never see that again. That's an obscure piece. That type of material that they use to make that piece of clothing is hardly ever used again in the same way. And then it could be made by a certain designer or a certain manufacturer that like doesn't exist anymore.